What is up, YouTube? That's here, bringing you guys a VGC 2015 battle, leading off against Swagmaster Dewgong. This is going to be a best of 3 I played on stream a little while ago. I'm going to be using my San Jose Regionals team, which is Kangaskhan Breloom, my Lodic Aegislash. I also have Garchomp and Volcarona. And this guy's team is Kingdra, Mega Salamence, Politoed Thundurus, Ferrothorn, and Heatran. So we see four of each of our Pokemon. Like I said, this is a best of 3. There is potential to mix it up in games 2 and 3. So without further ado, we're just going to start things off, get right into it, and show you a pretty cool best of 3 I played from stream the other day. So like I said, his name is Swagmaster D. It's short for Swagmaster Dewgong. I think both names are pretty awesome, really, as we see him lead Politoed Thundurus. So as we know, Politoed is going to be setting up that rain and making it so Kingdra can really sweep to its fullest potential. So Politoed, great lead against my team, and Thundurus always just great lead against Pokemon like Breloom. So first of all, we're seeing him withdraw his Politoed and go straight into the Kingdra. So going for a very ballsy swap. I mean, it looks like Politoed was a very juicy Bullet Seed and or Spore target. So going into Kingdra, a bit risky there, but I am going to go for a fake out onto the Thundurus just to keep it honest there and chunk it for quite a bit, doing about 30% there. As we see, we get the flinch from the Thundurus and a Spore onto the Kingdra slot, and I think I'm in a very, very dominant position here in this game. Then the Kingdra is actually it's really gonna be Lumberry Kingdra. Like, it's something you don't see all that often, but I do think it's probably the best item on a Pokemon like Kingdra. Protects from being Thunder Wave, protects it from that switch-in Spore right there, as he goes for a Muddy Water. Unfortunately, he misses on my Kang, and then he decides to go for a double up into that Breloom slot with the Thunderbolt, leaving me at about 20 HP, which is gonna completely not... Like, it's going to completely ignore my Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan's going to get a free KO with Double Edge off onto that Thundurus slot. And remember, Breloom is still alive and kicking too. And it's going to, I think I do fire off a Spore here. So it's the second time I've had to Spore that Kingdra. And I do feel, like I said, I'm in a very dominant, aggressive position. My Breloom is low. My King has taken a nice bit of chip damage. But I still have, like, I think we've taken out the Thundurus. The Kingdra's asleep. Yeah, all he has left is really Politoed. So like I said, I feel like I can really push my advantage here. Remember, since it's Salamence, Salamence really has to Mega and protect the first turn just to gain that speed, so it'll be able to outspeed Breloom. So it should be fairly obvious that even though I've been double intimidated here by the Salamence, I'm still going to double target that Kingdra slot. It can't protect itself. We know that Politoed is the other switch-in, and we know just going for a nuke on that slot with both of my Pokemon on the same turn is going to be able to pick me up a KO on any of his Pokemon. So Double Edge does a good amount, and we are going to follow that up with a Bullet Seed from Breloom. And like I said, it's pretty hard for him to come back here, but like I said, this is a really good battle, so we're going to see what happens. So Kingdra's going to go down, Politoed's going to come back out, and one thing about the Salamence we don't know is if it's physical or special, and that's one of the most important things, especially in a best of 3, is getting the most information you can out of your opponent each game. So we're going to withdraw Kang. We can send that guy out later to fake out or do pretty much anything as we switch in an Aegislash here and protect with Breloom. We're just trying to scout if he's special or physical. If he was special, let's say he used Hyper Voice that turn, I could then just spam Wide Guard and just take out the Salamence right there. But we do see that it's a physical Salamence. I think physical Salamence is better in this matchup because it goes very well with the Kingdra. Also note that my Aegislash took a Scald at the end of that turn. That was kind of lame, but Breloom will feint this turn down to that Double Edge from Salamence, and it's starting to get a little bit dicey, right? My Kang's not too healthy. My Aegislash almost got baited into a an Encore there. Note that since I'm going for an actual attack, I'm going last. He tried to Encore me through a King Shield, and I would have been pretty much stuck encoring for the rest of I would have been stuck King Shielding for the rest of the game. So very fortunate I went for that Shadow Ball when I did, or else I would have been stuck in King Shield for the remainder of the game. So Kangaskhan comes out as the rain finally dissipates, and we're just going to go for fake outs. We need to get Politoed off the board. The way I see it is, if I get Politoed off the board, my Lodic, my last Pokemon, can 1v1 Salamence no problem. So we're just going to try and get Politoed off the board. We eat a huge Double Edge, and I'm really glad that I went for the fake out, just so I could throw out Kang, do a little bit of damage, immobilize the Politoed for a turn, and try and finish it off with a Shadow Ball. So this is my best attempt. Here we go. Shadow Ball on Politoed, and I'm not going to get it. So a game that I really thought I was just straight up winning, I thought that was over, kind of close now. So we're going to see him go for a helping hand on his Salamence here. This is a super powered up double edge. This is about as strong as it's ever going to get. He has aerial 8, he has everything you possibly need, and I'm actually still alive at 3 HP. I'm going to activate my Citrus Berry, but you can tell this game is over this turn. I'm going to get to fire off an Ice Beam with my Milotic, and remember, since Politoed already used Helping Hand, Politoed doesn't have any moves to use. It's going to go down to a Shadow Ball. So if this was the best one, oh, I made it. I barely made it, but we still have potentially 2 more games to play. I mean, he's shown a lot of his tricks, but I've really shown more of my play style. He's shown that his Politoed is Encore, he's using a physical Salamence. He's shown a bit more about his team, but I've shown the way that I want to play. I've shown that I don't really like to use King Shield. I've shown that I like to use Fake Out with my King. These are tendencies that I've shown, not really moveset things. So while we have both revealed a lot of stuff, I would still say there's still a lot of stuff to play. So going to the next game, we see that we switch it up a little bit. I decide to not bring Aegislash. I can't just get Encored all day. So I decided to bring Garchomp. I'm potentially planning on switching in on a double edge and getting a one-shot thanks to the Salamance's Recoil plus Rough Skin Rocky Helmet. That's my main plan. He decides not to bring, what was that Pokemon? He doesn't bring Thundurus, a Pokemon that also I was trying to use Garchomp to potentially, check. I'm leading with my Milotic. So if I saw Thundurus as a lead, I would switch my Milotic out for Garchomp. So I'm really trying to check this guy's Thundurus, and he didn't bring it. He brought Ferrothorn instead, which is a great check to all 4 of the Pokemon that I brought. So we're starting off game 2. Here we go. Leading off game 2 against Swagmaster Dewgong. So like I said, I was really expecting Thundurus to be here, but sadly we're not going to see it. We're just going to see the straight Politoed Kingdra lead. And remember, we know that the Kingdra has a Lumberry, so there's no reason to try and burn it, there's no reason to try and freeze it, no reason to try and put it to sleep. Pretty much just, if I can't KO it, just ignore it and hope it goes away. Luckily for me, he goes away. He doesn't want to get Fake Outed, and he goes right into the Ferrothorn, which is really bad for me. Like I said, I know that his Politoed is Encore, so if I were to open up first turn with a Fake Out, I would just be getting Encored unless I Fake Out of the Politoed slot. So I decide to not even fall for any of those tricks and go for just a double edge on the Kingdra. But the Kingdra turned into a Ferrothorn, and I'm going to be taking Recoil from double edge. I'm going to be taking Rough Skin twice, Rocky Helmet twice, and oh my gosh, luckily for me I crit on the second one. It's not really super needed, but it makes me feel better. Look how much damage this guy's doing to me. I mean, the amount of damage that is... I mean, I've done it to so many Kangs with my Garchomp, so I know how it feels, but... And then I get a Scald off here. I'm just trying to burn the Politoed. I got nothing else Milotic can really do here. I don't get a burn, and he plays it perfectly. He played me 100%. He doesn't go for the Encore play. He knew what I was going to do. He read me like a book, and my Kang goes down first turn. Very not great. So Garchomp's coming in. Garchomp got to take me to Flinch Town. That's the only way I think I win. Also note, I'm looking at that Politoed. We've seen Helping Hand. We've seen Scald. We've seen Encore. Haven't seen Ice Beam. I'm assuming there might be Protect on there. So, since I don't really think he has Ice Beam, I'm just going to eat the Scald and hopefully not get burned, right? I mean, that's the best play I can make. But I get burned. So, I get burned, but I get a flinch. So, while I would rather have not been flinched, I would rather have not been burned, I think hacks are even right now. Because, I mean, he would have totally destroyed my Milotic with like a Gyro or a Power Whip or something like that. So, we're going to see him hard switch out to his Kingdra, noting that Politoed's not super useful right now. He wants to get the most out of the rain that he can, as I go for a Protect EQ. And the reason I'm going for this turn is, remember how much damage Ice Beam did the turn before? That's just about how much damage it is to KO Ferrothorn from here. So I just needed a little bit more damage. Rock Slide couldn't really do that much with a burned Garchomp on the board. So we're going to lose Garchomp. It's perfectly okay, because remember, we set up the Ferrothorn for a KO from Ice Beam. But this is where things get cool. We get a competitive proc off an accuracy drop from a Muddy Water. So now Milotic's at +2, which means we didn't really need the Earthquake, but luckily we hit this guy with an Ice Beam. So the comeback is coming. I mean, we got +2 competitive Milotic on the board. We're going to bring Breloom out here. Breloom is a great check to all the Pokemon he really has left as he comes out with Salamence. And remember, Salamence has that Intimidate ability, which is going to give me another +2. So, like, I can KO anything. I can KO anything right now. There's nothing that stands in my way. I mean, maybe Politoed, but he's not on the board. So we're going to see Salamence Mega, and like I said, just like the first game, Salamence kind of needs to protect here. I was thinking about sporing him, thinking he might get cheeky, but he's protecting here. That is the correct play. And this is also good for me because it lets me just go ham on the Kingdra slot, but it also takes turns away from his range, so that's pretty good for me. So he disables my Ice Beam. That's a good play. That's a great play. He's opening himself up to Bullet Seeds here. I need to KO this Kingdra or at least get him low enough to Mach Punch him. So we get a critical hit on that third one. The fourth hit is going to take out the Kingdra, which means his last two Pokemon are Politoed and Politoed and Salamence. So Ice Beam is disabled. Rain has stopped. So it's great that I KO'd the Kingdra, but in all reality, its Rain would have stopped and Breloom would have been faster anyways. But back to the game, we got Politoed and Salamence versus these two. I still think that since my Melodic is at +4, like I'm actually pretty happy about this. I'm going to try to protect and potentially bait out the Double Edge Helping Hand, but he doesn't go for that. He just goes for a hard nuke on my Breloom slot, which again is completely reading me like a book, but I feel I have all my bases covered here. I go for a Spore on the Croissantwich Mega Salamence, and that's going to put that guy asleep for at least a few more turns, as he's going to go for a Politoed Scald on my Breloom. His Politoed attacks have been on point this game. He's not going for Encores, he's not going for anything cheeky, he's just going for great double targets on the same Pokemon, really picking my team apart, because like I said, this is an analysis of my playstyle. He knows how I like to play it. So starting off turn 8, we go for a Scald, Ice Beam disabled, we're at +4. +4. We just one-shot that Salamence. It's gone. It's raining. We're at +4, and this is pretty much GG. I mean, I don't get burned, but remember I do have an accuracy drop. So as long as I keep hitting this guy, I'm probably gonna do okay. Look how much damage it does. That's just ridiculous damage. We see a Citrus Berry activate, and there's like no way you claw your way back from this one, even with the most mightiest of burns and crits. I mean, I would have to miss a million times, and my Melodic is not about that. I'm no longer disabled. My last Scald hits. And that's going to be GG. I pick up the 2-0 against Swagmaster Dewgong. Like I said, this is a game for my stream, so if you guys want to participate in some of these battles, I'm going to leave a link to my stream in the description. Check that out. Give the channel a follow. I go live every day or two, mostly every day actually. Just doing viewer battles, doing regular ladder battles. Lots of stuff to learn. Bunch of fun times to be had. So if you guys like this, like, comment, subscribe, check out that Twitch channel, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.